My name is Quinton Crawford. I'm from New Jersey. I've been in the league 10 years, last 10 years, currently now with the Phoenix Suns, before that with the Dallas Mavericks, and I spent 3 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, one big thing for me is defense, always been on the defensive side of the ball, and the one thing I think can carry over to your programs is paint switching. I don't see it enough in college basketball, and I don't see it enough in youth basketball, and I think it can be applied at both levels. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to break it into two pieces: on ball with the guards, and then off ball with the bigs. And then I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna show you what paint switching is all about and how it allows you to keep your bigs on bigs, smalls on smalls if possible. And if you do have to switch, you now have bigs on smalls at the rim and smalls on bigs on the perimeter, right? And that's the whole goal. We think in the NBA that we win more times than not when we have bigs guarding smalls at the basket, making them finish over verticality and length at the basket. And if we have to pick and pop versus the guys like Karl Anthony Towns, we feel good with our guards on the perimeter versus slow-footed bigs that can't get by them, right? So that's kind of what this is going to be about. First thing, let me have 7, 9, 13, and 12. Yeah, you guys come on. Perfect. 7, 9, 13, and 12. We'll be down here. I'll try to speak up as best I can. But we're going to talk about on-ball pick and roll defense. Let's have, you'll be at the nail. You guys will make a line at the top of the floor. So on ball, we talk about this with the Lakers. We talked about this with Dallas. It's the impact on the ball. More times than not, at the youth level and in college level, whatever directional cadence you guys have, when we call it out, we jump to space, right? So for instance, if 9, you're on offense, and I'm on defense, so you would have the ball. Can we get a ball? Perfect. So you'll be in the middle pick and roll, right? So more times than not, when you call a cadence for us, it's always been weak. Everywhere I've been in the NBA, weak meaning send the ball to the left hand, always to the left hand. So you'd be here, right? And you see this a lot in youth and the college level. When they hear a cadence of a call, for instance, weak, they jump to space. They do this. And inevitably what that does, it just opens up a clear path line to the basket if there's no screen. And you see that more in the NBA where guys are ghost screening and getting out of the way, but you're not impacting the ball at all. So per se, if I hear weak, and I jump to space, she's still comfortable. She can do whatever she wants. She can jab, she can try to reject, right? If she's a right-handed player, she can try to beat me over the top. And the whole thing for us is impact the ball, physicality on the ball. And the term we use is chest on shoulder, right? Chest on shoulder. And all that does, when I hear that call weak, and I want you to just be in a triple threat, I won't hurt you here, right? It'll be weak. I take up the space. I put my chest on her shoulder, and she has no option but to go left, right? Big thing, show our hands. You see this a lot more at the higher level, but people that do this, just rip underneath, try to get fouled. They get that, I'm sorry, right? That's the Chris Paul, right? The Damian Lillards, guys that know how to manipulate the whistle. As soon as you put your arm on their body, it ends up being, you can be here, it'd be weak, put your arm here. They just do this, and they try to rip through, right? That's a foul, right? So what we want to do, we hear weak, chest on shoulder, all the way up, give me no option. I can't go right, I can only go left. And what we're going to do for this drill here, you're going to be at the nail. You're going to start at the nail. I'm going to be the coach over here. I'm going to pass the ball. I want you to come all the way up like you're going to guard. Weak. Take up the space, chest on shoulder. I'm going to pivot. Do not let me go right. Okay. That's the whole thing. There won't be any screener. So what you're going to do is you're going to be at the nail. The ball, be the coach for a second. Swing the ball. No middle closeout. You're going to hear the call weak. Take up the space, chest on shoulder, and we're going to stay here. We're going to stay in triple threat. We're not going to bounce it. Okay? We're going to go through it. So you're up first. Here it is. This is something we drill here. On the swing, no middle closeout. Weak. Take up, show your hands. Good. Offense, defense off. Rotate. 13, you're on. 13. Yep. Offense, defense off. Ready? All triple threat. At the nail. Here. Help. Swing it. Your closeout. Weak. Show your hands. Good. Perfect. As they triple threat and they try to move, keep your chest on their shoulder. Right? Big key. I'm telling you, this is not a foul or anything. When they get here and I can lean on you like this, I can push you off your balance, right? I'm allowed to do that as a defender, right? We don't want to get involved with the hand check. So So make sure we're putting the chest on shoulder here. Be up a step at the free throw line. Yep. Ready? Here it is. Close out, close out. Weak, 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 weak. Take up the space. Good. Lean. Perfect. Show your hands. That's a great defensive position. That was perfect. One more rep. One more rep. Offense to defense. Defense off. Ready? Ready? Here we go. Close out, close out. Weak, 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 weak. Take up the space. Perfect. Lean. Good. Show your hands. No foul, no rip throughs, no reject. Right? So that's on the ball. That's perfect. Let me get the 4 at the end. Just give me the 4 at the end. You guys can slide off. Perfect. So let's talk about the ball screener defender. Right? Ball screener defender. For us, we talk about a coverage defense where we are in drops. They call it drop. They call it up at the level. He'll corral. There's all these different coverages that we execute. But the biggest thing for us with the Lakers, with the Suns, with the Mavericks, is we bring our bigs up the floor to impact the ball. Right? We don't like being back. Players are too good now. They come off screens. You have rise of threes. You got guys coming off screens like Chris Paul. They get to their spots, the mid-range pull-ups, the Devin Bookers of the world, the Kevin Durant's of the world. We want to be up. We want to give the illusion there ain't nowhere to go. We got 2 on the ball without putting 2 on the ball. Illusion. I'm up. I'm back. All right, so I need you guys underneath the basket. So we call this channel 1. And we have different channels, everybody underneath the basket. Channel 1. And we have different channels. We go up, we go down, we turn them on, we turn them off. But all channel 1 is up to touch, no roller behind. Right? We do not want the roll to get behind our defense. Right? So channel 1, up to touch at the level of the screen, no roller behind. And how we drill this is that we have two players up, offense, defense at the block here. And what we want to do for the offensive player, you're going to run up like you're setting a middle pick and roll. All you're going to do is put 2 hands on the chair. You're going to open up, and you're going to roll. You're just going to roll as fast as you can. As the defensive player, we're running up with her as she goes up. We're calling out our cadence, weak, 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 weak. This is up to the level of the touch. As she rolls, she's not getting behind me. I'm going backwards, right? This is what no roller behind looks like. And this is with all the hopes of keeping this pick and roll 2-on-2 without influencing the weak side low man or putting us into rotations, right? The big thing in NBA is rotations. When you get into rotations, it's hard to stop teams. You want to stay out of rotations, right? So this is channel 1. This is the screener defender drill we do. It's called channel 1, no roller behind. Big key, the roll can't get behind you. So as she runs up, I want you right on her hip, her left hand on her body. So keep going all the way up. Show your presence, weak, 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 weak. She touches, we go back with her. Offense goes to defense. We'll do it, and we'll rotate in, okay? Here we go, right? Yep, good. Right, perfect. Let's do that one more time because I want you to say weak, 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 right? You're talking to me if I'm guarding the ball. Weak, 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 right? So she goes up. Weak, 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 weak. I'm going back, 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 back. Roller that never gets behind. We keep the ball handle of the defender. I'm on my own. Smalls on smalls, bigs on bigs. We work home, okay? Good. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Flip it. Flip it. You're on offense. You're on defense. You're on her body. On her body. On her body. On her body. Here we go. Come on. Say it. Uh-oh. 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 Which way are you going? I want you on the outside. Left hand on her. You got it. It's okay. So it's going to be like this. Walk through it. Walk through it. She goes up. You're on the outside. Boom, boom. Weak, 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 weak. She touches. You go back in space. Right? Cool. Here we go. Uh-oh. Good. Better. Next 2. Next 2. All right. Here we go. Right to it. Back, 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 back. Hands up. Perfect. Flip it. All right. Here it is. Back, 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 back. No roller behind. We keep smalls on smalls, bigs on bigs, okay? Give me 12 and 9. 12 and 9. All All right, so this is kind of the gist of on-ball defense as the ball handler defender, off-ball defense as the screener defender, and now we're going to put it together as far as a paint switch mentality, right? So we're going to have, Jay, kick me that ball. Let's have it here, you handle, you guard her. You'll be the big first, you'll guard her, and I want you to be just in weak side corner. All right. So this is something that we utilize as a pick and roll coverage. Channel 1, if she comes up, we're going to freeze it at the screen, right? What we want to do is we don't want to get screen on the ball. You're going to get into the ball, chest on shoulder, right? Fight over the top if you can. For the purpose of this drill, I want you to get screen, right? So this is what happens. We all talk about don't get screen, fight over, navigate. Truth be told, people get screen, right? And you're always going to be playing a man down at some point in time. So you have to be ready to play the game with a two-man pick and roll. That way we don't have to engage her. Her whole job as the weak side low is big illusion, right? She starts all the way in. As soon as that guard comes off and takes that picture, that first picture, she's in. She looks like she's taking the roller. As the roll happens, her whole job is to get out. We don't want to give up threes. Threes are a no-no, especially corner threes in the NBA, right? That's the money spot. They don't want to give up corner threes. So the big thing with this pick and roll, we got to do our best to handle it 2-on-2 with a weak chest on shoulder. Your job is no roller behind, right? And we handle it like that. So let's talk about if you get screen. So come up, we're calling weak, 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 weak. Come off to your left. We're going back. Freeze it here. You're chasing over. You're going to chase over like you're working to get back in front. So we have these concepts. They're called early pickup, early recovery. And I'm going to go through this quick because I really want to get to the paint switch part. Right? Early pickup means any sort of rise up coming off. If she comes off one dribble and shoots it, that's on the guard to rear view contest. If she comes off one bounce and pocket passes, that's on the big to get back home. So that way guards stay on guards, bigs stay on bigs. Right? So come off one dribble. I want you to use the screen. I want you to come off one dribble and pocket pass. So just throw it to the roller. Right? You're going to be up. I want you to start low. Be up, weak, 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 weak. Be back. I want you to work back home to 10. Okay? Here it is. Up, up, up. Pocket pass. We try to do that and stay home. Right? We can slow down, but I don't want you guys to hurt each other. All right? So big thing, and I'm gonna say this. Right? You hear that weak call. What is your trigger? Yes, ma'am. Right here. Chest on shoulder. Right? We're gonna work here. She screens you. You chase over the top. Let's try that one more time. Weak, 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 weak. One dribble. Throw the pocket pass. You're there, and then you're gonna recover back home. Okay? Back home. Good. Bingo. Make or miss. We like that matchup. Bigs versus bigs at the basket. Guard staying home. That's what we want, right? Make or miss, right? So let's talk about paint switching. We don't see this enough at the college level, in the youth level, and part of our terminology, we call it veer. I've heard people call it peel. I've heard people call it switch, blue, black, whatever you want to call it. All it is a paint switch. And how does this trigger, right? So we talk about channel 1, early pickup, early recovery. What if there is no early pickup, early recovery? What if it's a straight basket attack on the pick and roll? Damian Lillard comes off, puts his head down. He's looking to get a layup or get fouled. How do we stop Nurkic from rolling and offensive rebounding, or Nurkic from taking a pocket pass, or Nurkic from catching a lob? And this is what paint switching helps you do, right? So in our philosophy and in our scheme, on our floor, we have a line. We call it the veer line. It starts at the dunker box. It kind of wraps through the elbows, around the elbow, back to the dunker box, making it separate paint almost in the vicinity of like elbow to elbow back to the baseline, just like a natural arc, right? And that is our veer line. That is our mental trigger when we practice. If the bigs are going up, setting the screen, and say you don't pass it, say you're going for a layup, and you're going weak, 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 weak. She comes off, walk through it, and she's coming to the basket. Freeze, right? At this point in time, we would consider this a paint switch, right? We have a guard attacking the paint. We want our bigs to challenge that. We attack floaters and lobs. If you want to get all the way to the rim and try to shoot a layup like Ja Morant, we want to meet you at the basket with verticalities without fouling, right? The trigger really helps the small, right? Because you got these big guys diving to the basket. Normally, these are your smallest guys on the court. The earlier that trigger, the better chance she has of breaking off her route, chasing her own, and getting into the big's legs as she's rolling to the basket, right? We want to try to keep them off the glass and take away the pocket pass. Does that make sense? Right, so if we go back to the top, and we'll just walk through this, and then we're going to do it a little bit live here. Go back to the top. We're going walking through. Weak, 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 weak. Channel 1. Down, down. Keep going, keep going. We call veer. Call veer or switch. If you want to call switch, you want to call switch? Can you do switch? Let's do switch. Call switch. When you hear the switch, I want you to peel off into the big's legs. The only thing you can do is you can shoot a layup or you can try to pocket pass. Okay? Let's do it a little bit live here. Good. Perfect. Right? If they take that shot over our big, I think we live with those. Paint floaters over length at the basket, we live with that. I want you to hold the ball, wait for the screen to come. So go triple threat, weak, weak, weak. Wait for them to set the screen, and then I want you to take off. All right, let's go through that one more time. Oh, a little early, right? So, and then this is actually perfect that it worked out that way, right? Ideally, we have a line out here so you can see it, but it's very hard to visualize. But if she comes off that pick and roll, right, and she plays east-west, right, come off, play east-west, right, do what you did. What is your job? Yeah, right, because we want to keep you here. The only time you want to switch is if you feel like she's going to go to the basket for a layup or for an early pocket pass and you're trying to help your teammate, all right? So let's do it one more time. One more time. Good. Good. Early pickup, early recovery. We stay home. Perfect. Let's go back one more time. Let's go straight to the basket. I want you to go all the way to the basket. Here. Good. Right? And that's what we kind of want. We want the big at the basket versus their small, and we want to give our guard the best opportunity to box out their big as they're diving to the basket. Right? It's a pretty easy concept. Let's put it all together, right? So now we have a three-man tandem here, right? She's in. She's giving the illusion she's in. You're calling weak. You're on the ball. I want you to play, right? If you come off and you want to shoot it, you can shoot it. If you come off, you want to pocket pass, you can pocket pass. Your whole job is to be in, to get out. If she falls asleep and she pulls all the way in, I want you to throw the ball in the corner. Okay? Put it all together here. Good. Good. In and out. Perfect. Stay home. We'll live with those. All right? Let's do it one more time. One more time. Let's get downhill. Downhill. All the way to the basket. Good. Perfect. Stay home. Everybody stays home. Good. One more time here. I want you to fly off and take one bounce, and I want you to throw it to the corner. Okay? All the way. Good. Bingo. Right? Because that weak side low man is all illusion, right? In to out. We do our best to handle the pick and roll 2-on-2, right? The better you handle that pick and roll 2-on-2, the better your defense is going to be, right? The less you are in rotations, the better your defense will be. And that's something we firmly believe with the Suns, something we firmly believe with Frank Vogel, with the Lakers, something that helped us win a championship. Channel 1, paint switch, stay out of rotation. All right? Good. If you guys have any questions, we got about 6 minutes. If there's anything you guys want to ask. Yes. If they cut it back. All right, so let's talk about cutbacks. Right? Normally, versus good teams, good players, right? Set the screen and say you're back. Freeze it right there. Hopefully, with her hand on her body, that deters the cutback. But if they do cut it back, something we talk about all the time is that turns into your veer, and then we have defensive coverages that help protect bigs on the perimeter versus small, right? Because it's very hard for the ball handler defender to chase over the top, and then say you cut it back, right? Oh, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. Stay here. So you're in weak, channel 1. You're going to cut it back to the elbow. Cut back this way. Yep. For her to chase over and then get back in front without switching that. So what we like to tell our guys is channel 1 up to touch, preferably take away the cutback. And if the cutback does happen, you're still in channel 1. You catch it at the elbow, turns to an automatic veer. And if they bounce it out and they want to ISO our big on the perimeter, we have defensive principles put in and a hit scheme where we double on the perimeter to keep our bigs protection of getting them off the ball with the guards flying at the ball.
If it's a fake screen.
A fake screen. Perfect. Good. So fake screen. So you're weak, and say you slip out. Say you slip the pop. Say you're Karl-Anthony Towns. Say you're Karl-Anthony Towns. Let's say you're Candace Parker. How about that? You're here. Candace Parker. Pick and pop big. Fake screen. You're running up. You're here in weak. And say she gets out the way, right? When you call weak, you're in coverage. You're the catcher. So that doesn't change anything you do, right? So you're calling weak. I want you to peel out, get out, don't screen. Get out, don't screen. As you come towards me, veer. What does that make you do? Peel, right? And that now puts our small and a big on the perimeter. And then as they're going to be making a basket attack, big on small. And if they bounce that out, we handle it with hits. Okay, so preferably to say the big has the biggest responsibility because they have to have the biggest voice and they have to see it happen before it happens, if that makes sense. All right, so as the peels happen, and I don't have enough time to talk about off-ball stuff, and I wish I did because I think that's valuable as well, but if you call a coverage, you're in a coverage, right? When you can't call weak, and then the offensive player you're guarding peels out of the way, and then now the guy on the ball thinks they're in coverage, and now I'm disappearing with them. Because now you're putting your ball handler defender at a big disadvantage on the ball. So when you call coverage, you're in it. If they peel or pop, we just handle it with one bounce. We just veer it. We put our small and big on the perimeter, and then we try to guard it like that. Good? Thank you.